The night of the Perseid meteor shower arrived, bringing hundreds of townspeople to the observatory. Liam found himself constantly aware of Sophia's location as she guided visitors through exhibits he had designed. "You've transformed this place," she told him during a quiet moment. "Your father would be proud." "It's a team effort," he replied, acutely conscious of how her hand rested inches from his on the railing. Across the room, Adrian was helping younger children adjust small telescopes, his patience remarkable. Watching him, Sophia smiled. "He has your gift for teaching, and Maya's compassion," Liam added. Then, courage rising, he asked, "Would you like to watch the shower from the private deck? The best view is from there." The private observation deck was a small wooden platform built off the main dome, accessible only to the observatory director. As they settled into adjacent lounge chairs, the first streaks of light began to race across the sky. "Make a wish," Sophia whispered as a particularly bright meteor blazed overhead. Liam turned to look at her instead of the sky. "I already did." Their eyes met, and 15 years seemed to compress into nothing. Sophia reached across the space between their chairs and took his hand. "I found a box of your old photographs." Adrian's voice came suddenly from the doorway. "You and Dr. Chen look happy in them." They jumped apart guiltily as Adrian approached, holding faded pictures from their teenage years. Sophia and Liam at science camp, stargazing on the beach, holding hands at graduation. "Why didn't you tell me you were in love with her?" Adrian asked directly. Liam looked helplessly at Sophia, who nodded encouragingly. "It's complicated, Adrian. I stayed here for my mother while Sophia received a prestigious scholarship abroad. We thought we could manage long distance, but my father disapproved," Sophia continued. "He wanted me focused on studies, not distracted by a hometown boyfriend. He intercepted Liam's letters. I thought she'd forgotten me," Liam admitted. "And then I met your mother during my university years." Adrian processed this, looking between them. "Did you ever regret it? Not fighting harder to stay together?" The question hung in the air like cosmic dust. "Every day," Sophia confessed quietly. Adrian nodded, surprising them both with a small smile. "I'm going back downstairs. The Miller's kids want help finding Cassiopeia." He paused at the door. "For what it's worth, I think the universe gives second chances for a reason." When they were alone again, Liam turned to Sophia. "When did 16-year-olds get so insightful?" "Must be those Barrett genes." She laughed softly, then grew serious. "Did you regret it?" Liam moved to her chair, kneeling beside her. "I loved Maya truly. I wouldn't change having Adrian. But yes, there were moments I wondered about us, about what might have been." Above them, meteors continued their brilliant journey across the night sky as Liam leaned forward and kissed Sophia for the first time in 15 years. Her lips were familiar yet new, and as she responded, wrapping her arms around him, Liam felt like a telescope finally focusing on a long-sought celestial body. "I've missed you," he murmured against her lips, "for so long." The autumn brought crisp air and changing dynamics. Liam and Sophia cautiously explored their rekindled relationship, stealing moments between classes and observatory events. Adrian watched with quiet approval, sometimes joining their dinner conversations about quantum physics and distant galaxies, other times tactfully finding reasons to give them privacy. On a misty October morning, Sophia arrived at the observatory with unusual tension in her expression. "What's wrong?" Liam asked, setting down the spectrometer he'd been calibrating. The file Adrian discovered changed everything. Grant proposals from Liam's father for creating a cutting-edge research center at the observatory, with preliminary approval from the National Science Foundation. With updated submissions, the observatory could become a world-class facility for the very exoplanet research Sophia specialized in. "You wouldn't need to go to Geneva," Adrian explained excitedly. "You could do the same research here with modern equipment and a team of your choosing." Sophia examined the documents, her expression shifting from disbelief to possibility. "This would take months to implement, even with the preliminary approvals." "We have time," Liam said softly, "if you want this." The weeks that followed were a flurry of grant writing, proposal submissions, and planning. Liam and Sophia worked side by side, building not just a research facility but a future neither had dared imagine before. Adrian threw himself into the project while also preparing applications for his summer program, no longer planning to leave permanently but instead creating a balanced path that honored both his ambitions and his connections. On the night of the observatory's official reopening gala, snow fell gently outside while inside, the renovated space glowed with promise. Local officials, scientists, and community members gathered beneath the dome, which now housed both the historic telescope and state-of-the-art digital imaging equipment. As director, Liam gave a short speech thanking everyone involved in the transformation. Then, departing from his prepared remarks, he turned to where Sophia stood. 15 years ago, I made the mistake of letting the stars between us grow too distant, he said, his voice carrying through the hushed room. Tonight, as we celebrate this observatory's rebirth, I'm also celebrating a second chance at a constellation I thought was lost forever. He crossed to her, taking her hand. Dr. Sophia Chen has agreed to lead our new exoplanet research division, but I'm hoping she'll agree to something else as well. Dropping to one knee, he produced a small box containing a ring with a diamond surrounded by tiny sapphires in the pattern of the Pleiades, her favorite star cluster. Her eyes shimmered with tears as she nodded. Yes, she whispered, pulling him to his feet and into a kiss that drew applause from the crowd. Adrian was the first to reach them, embracing them both. Finally, he exclaimed. I was worried I'd have to spell it out in star charts. Later that night, after the guests had departed, the three of them stood on the observation deck, watching the snow fall against the backdrop of a surprisingly clear night sky. I got accepted to the summer program at Stanford, Adrian announced, but I'll be back for the fall semester. And I officially declined Geneva, Sophia added. Our research here will be groundbreaking, especially with the new spectrographic analysis system. Liam looked between them, his brilliant son and his extraordinary fiancée, and felt a completeness he'd never expected to find again after Maya's death, different from before but equally precious. Sophia, will you navigate the cosmos with me as my partner in research, in life, in everything? She handed him an official-looking letter. The European Space Agency wants me to lead their new exoplanet research division in Geneva. It's a 3-year appointment. The words hit Liam like a meteor strike. When would you leave? January, she said quietly. If I accept. That's your dream job, he managed, struggling to keep disappointment from his voice. It was my dream. Now I'm not so sure what my dream is. They were interrupted by Adrian rushing in, clutching a tablet. Dad, the quantum physics summer program at Stanford accepted me. His enthusiasm faltered as he noticed their expressions. What's happening? Later that evening, after explaining Sophia's opportunity to Adrian, Liam found himself alone in the observatory dome, staring unseeing through the massive telescope. The familiar pattern was repeating. Career versus love, ambition versus connection. How could he ask Sophia to decline such an opportunity? His contemplation was interrupted by Adrian entering quietly. Dad, there's something I need to tell you. His son looked uncharacteristically nervous. I've been applying to specialized science academies for next fall. Boarding schools with advanced astrophysics programs. Liam felt his world shift again. You want to leave? I want to follow my passion for astronomy, like you and Dr. Chen taught me. But I've been afraid to tell you because... Adrian hesitated. Because what? Because you'd be alone. After Mom died, you centered your whole life around me. Liam pulled his son into a tight embrace, realizing that his brilliant boy had been carrying this burden, worrying about his father's loneliness even while dreaming of his own future. That night, Liam couldn't sleep. Both Sophia and Adrian were contemplating paths that led away from Astoria Point, away from him. The cosmic irony wasn't lost on him. 15 years ago, it was Sophia leaving while he stayed. Now he risked losing both his rekindled love and his son to the same gravitational pull of academic opportunity. The following day, he found Sophia in her classroom after school. Grading papers. We need to talk about Geneva, he said. She set down her pen. I haven't decided anything yet. You should accept the position, he said, the words painful but necessary. I can't be the reason you turned down this opportunity. Sophia stood, approaching him slowly. And what about us? Another 15-year separation? I don't know, Liam admitted. I just know I can't ask you to stay. What if I want you to ask? Her voice was barely above a whisper. Before he could answer, his phone buzzed with a text from Adrian. Found something important in Grandpa's old files. Come to the observatory ASAP. As they drove there together in tense silence, Liam wondered if some cosmic force was determined to keep interrupting every pivotal moment between them. Dr. Liam Barrett gripped the steering wheel tightly as he drove past the weathered sign welcoming him to Astoria Point. After 15 years away, the small coastal town seemed both achingly familiar and strangely foreign. The road wound uphill toward his destination, his late father's observatory now his responsibility.
"Dad, are we almost there?"
Adrian asked from the passenger seat, looking up from his physics textbook. At 16, his son had his mother's thoughtful dark eyes and quiet determination. "Just around this bend," Liam replied, pointing to the silver dome gleaming in the distance. "That's where your grandfather spent his life mapping the stars." When they pulled into the gravel driveway, Liam felt a strange mixture of grief and homecoming. His father had passed away just 3 weeks ago, leaving the century-old family observatory to him, a gift that doubled as a burden. As an astrophysicist with NASA, taking over meant significant career changes, but after losing Maya 5 years ago to a rare form of cancer, Liam had learned to prioritize what truly mattered. For Adrian, this place offered roots and connection to a family history he barely knew. "It's bigger than in the pictures," Adrian murmured, staring up at the dome. "Wait until you see the telescope. Your grandfather upgraded it last year, one final gift to science." The following morning, Liam drove Adrian to Astoria Point High School to register him for the fall semester. The principal, Mr. Goodwin, greeted them warmly. "We're delighted to have Adrian join us, especially with his exceptional aptitude for physics. In fact, I think you should meet our physics teacher. She's revolutionized our science program." They followed him down the hallway to a classroom where a woman with her back turned was arranging molecular models on a shelf. Her dark hair fell in a sleek bob just above her shoulders. "Dr. Chen, I'd like you to meet our newest student and his father." When she turned, time seemed to freeze. Sophia Chen's warm brown eyes widened in recognition, and Liam felt the air leave his lungs. 15 years had only enhanced her quiet beauty. Laugh lines framing eyes that still sparked with curiosity and intelligence. "Liam," she said softly as though testing whether the name still belonged on her lips. "Sophia, I didn't know you were back in Astoria Point." Mr. Goodwin looked between them. "You two know each other." "We went to high school together," Sophia explained, her composed voice betraying nothing of their history. Of summer nights mapping constellations, of whispered promises, of the scholarship that took her across the world while he stayed behind for his ailing mother. Adrian observed them curiously. "Dad never mentioned he knew anyone here." "It was a long time ago," Liam said quickly. Later, as they walked to the car, Adrian said, "Dr. Chen seems nice. She's written papers on quantum physics that we studied in my advanced placement class." Liam nodded, his mind racing with questions. Why had she returned? Had she married? The absence of a ring offered no definitive answer. As they drove home, his phone chimed with a message from an unknown number. "The observatory needs community outreach to secure continued funding. I have some ideas if you're interested. Welcome back to Astoria Point. Sophia." Liam stared at the screen, feeling like a planet that had just been pulled back into orbit around a familiar star, uncertain whether the gravitational pull would lead to harmonious circulation or catastrophic collision. The observatory's meeting room felt smaller with Sophia in it. Liam shuffled his papers nervously as she examined the outdated community outreach materials. "We could create a program linking the high school's curriculum with real astronomical research," Sophia suggested, her fingers tracing constellations on the star chart. "Give students hands-on experience with the telescope." "That's brilliant," Liam admitted, watching how the afternoon light caught in her hair. "Adrian would love that. He's remarkable, Liam. His understanding of astrophysics rivals some of my university students." Pride swelled in Liam's chest. Maya would have been proud. She always believed he'd follow the scientific path. At Maya's name, Sophia's expression softened. "I was sorry to hear about her passing. Adrian mentioned it was 5 years ago?" "Cancer," Liam confirmed quietly. "It happened quickly. She was diagnosing patients 1 month and became one herself the next." An uncomfortable silence settled between them before Sophia asked, "And you? NASA must miss their brilliant astrophysicist." "I'm on extended leave. The observatory needs someone and Adrian needs stability. Their conversation was interrupted by Adrian himself, bursting through the door with excitement. Dr. Chen, Dad, I just calculated the optimal viewing time for the Perseid meteor shower next month. Watching Sophia and Adrian discuss celestial mechanics, Liam felt a strange new constellation forming, connections between the three of them that seemed both unexpected and somehow inevitable. Over the next few weeks, the outreach program took shape. Late nights at the observatory became routine, with Sophia and Liam working side by side, carefully maintaining professional distance that nevertheless grew thinner with each passing day. One evening, while Adrian was calculating coordinates in the main dome, Liam found Sophia on the observation deck gazing upward. Jupiter is particularly bright tonight, she noted without looking at him. Liam stood beside her, close enough to catch the faint scent of jasmine in her hair. Why did you come back to Astoria Point, Sophia? She turned to him then, her eyes reflecting starlight. My father needed care after his stroke. But also, I'd achieved everything I thought I wanted professionally, yet something was missing. And have you found it? I'm still looking, she whispered, her gaze holding his. Something electric passed between them as they stood beneath the vast canopy of stars. Liam leaned slightly forward, drawn by a gravity as powerful as any celestial bodies. Sophia's phone rang sharply, breaking the moment. It was the nursing facility where her father stayed. As she took the call, Liam stepped back, his heart hammering against his ribs, wondering what might have happened if they hadn't been interrupted. That night, driving home with a quiet Adrian, Liam finally asked, You like Dr. Chen as a teacher? She's the best, Adrian replied, then hesitated. Dad, were you and Dr. Chen more than classmates back then? Liam gripped the steering wheel tighter. What makes you ask that? The way you look at each other. It's like watching binary stars, separate but completely affected by each other's gravity. Liam smiled at his son's astronomical metaphor. We were very close once. First love and all that, what happened?
Life pulled us in different directions.
Your mother happened, and you, the best things in my life. Adrian nodded thoughtfully. But Mom's gone now, he said softly, and Dr. Chen is here. Liam glanced at his perceptive son, wondering when Adrian had grown wise enough to see through the complicated orbits of adult hearts. Yes, Liam said finally.
She is.